Hello, Alabama FFA. I'm Blaine Johnson, your 2025-2026 State Sentinel, stationed by the door. And this is the first episode of the FFA Sit Down. Today, I have a very special guest with me, Mr. Randolph. Mr. Randolph completed his undergrad at Athens State, graduates with his master's from Auburn University December 13th, and begins his EDS at Auburn in January. He was also very active in FFA throughout his high school career and was actually inspired by his very own ag teacher to conquer the ag ed career path. Mr. Randolph competed in livestock judging, prepared public speaking, creed speaking, discussion meet, and even vet science during his time in FFA. With all that being said, it's obvious that Mr. Randolph is an A-plus individual when it comes to the agricultural education field. However, not only is he a special guest because of his agricultural success, he is also my very own ag advisor here at Hartselle. And much like how he mentioned his ag teacher inspired him to turn into an ag ed degree major, he has also inspired me to do the same thing for myself. Mr. Randolph, thank you for joining me today with the first episode of the FFA Sit Down.
Happy to be here.
Happy to be here. So the FFA Sit Down is going to be just where we talk about things that are going on in Alabama FFA, things that are going on in our chapter whenever Mr. Randolph's on, and there's going to be other guests, like hopefully our North District advisor, our state advisor, and some people on my own state officer team to just talk about FFA with Alabama FFA, and hopefully there's some national FFA viewers too. But to dive right in, the topic I want to talk about first was your job teaching at Hartselle. How special is it to you? And I didn't mention this in your intro, but you're teaching agricultural education at your alma mater. How special is that to you?
It is, well, first off, thank you for having me on here. It's a privilege to be the first guest on the FFA Sit Down and getting to do it in our ag department in our classroom. So thank you for having me on here.
Yes, sir.
But it is very, very, very special. I'm currently starting my third year here at Hartselle, third year teaching. And so when the opportunity was presented, believe me, it was a blessing. I knew from the time I was in seventh grade, sitting in my ag classroom, that this is what I wanted to do. Had to overcome some hurdles along the way.
Of course.
I'm not the traditional ag ed pathway, but I got here ultimately. God placed me here at Hartselle High School. I could not be more thankful for that. But man, it's a blessing. To get to come back to the chapter and the community, the school, the system that did so much for me, and now I can hope to only do as much what they did for me to provide for y'all. So it's a blessing.
And that's a great answer. People truly don't know the community that Hartselle has until they're inside of it.
That's true.
It would be a blessing to hopefully come back and teach here someday, and I'm so happy for you, Mr. Randolph.
I got a few years before that could happen.
Yes, sir. I mentioned in your introduction, you talked about your ag teacher inspiring you to become an ag teacher.
Absolutely.
That would have been
Mr. Adams.
Mr. Adams.
Absolutely.
He's actually still teaching ag at the intermediate school, at Hartselle Intermediate School to this day. But you can reiterate him, and I also want you to say some more mentors you've had in your life that have helped you get to the position you are today.
So there is a ton. I have a lot of mentors, a lot of people that influence me. But he is absolutely the one that really just made a significant impact in my life and pushed me to go down this pathway. So absolutely, Mr. Greg Adams. He's on the Alabama FFA Wall of Honor. That was one thing that our group got together his last year before he retired and got his name put up there because he is more than deserving of that. Significant member in our community, has made a mark on the Hartselle community and still does today in young lives. Like he said, teacher at the intermediate school. He does part-time there. I think it's 3 or 4 periods a day, but teaching young 5th and 6th graders, getting them exposed to ag ed. Not FFA yet at that level, but then hopefully getting them excited for the time when they get up here to the high school. And he just made a tremendous impact in my life. But yes, absolutely. Him being for sure number one. But there are other ones that I still have contact with. Another one being Miss Ashley Holmes, or Dr. Ashley Holmes. Now, she had just finished her PhD at Auburn. So obviously her, she's our North District advisor. An amazing woman. I was at Faultville for a year as an aide before I began teaching, and I did my internship there as an aide. also, and I got to be in her classroom a little bit, and a lot of the things that I learned and the things that I input in my classroom today, I learned a lot from her too. So she's a significant one, and a lot of other people, but those two are absolutely the ones that come to mind.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's nothing more special seeing somebody that loves ag so much that after they retire, they still decide to teach ag
absolutely.
in the intermediate school. And Miss Holmes, I know she's watching this episode. I'm one of her biggest fans too.
You got to call her Doc.
Oh, Dr. Holmes. Dr. Holmes. Sorry. Little fun question here. What was the biggest surprise you had when you first entered the ag teaching room? Like when you first
specifically
stepped into
here or
Hartselle?
just in general?
I want to say Hartselle. So when you first year Hartselle, what was the biggest surprise, shock you had entering the ag room?
It wasn't a shock, but I guess I just didn't realize it from the teacher side, but the community support. So I was talking to somebody else that works here at the high school today, man, and it's the support we have from the Hartselle community is unbelievable, and it's truly unmatched. One thing, there was a couple things that stood out to me when I first got hired that made me feel that way was one of our administrators, Mr. Jake Miles, one of our assistant principals, and he's our athletic director. He said, if you work hard and you give it everything you got, and you are a go-getter, and you come to Hartselle City Schools, you don't stand out, you fit in. And so we've got a lot of go-getters here. We've got the community that supports us, and something he says a lot too is that culture matters. And man, we've got an amazing culture here at Hartselle. So yeah, the program might have been down a little bit when I had gotten here, but it don't happen with just me. It happens with y'all, my amazing students, the amazing community support, the school support, the system. We've got amazing individuals, and I think being a student that was here at Hartselle, going from the student role, then off to college and coming back as a teacher, getting to see on another basis of how much that community supports you, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. It's unmatched in the state.
Yes, sir.
So that was probably the one thing that stood out.
Yes, sir. I love seeing that. And Hartselle really is an everything school, FFA, sports. Jake Miles, the athletic director, he coached me all the way up through third grade, and he's not telling a lie by saying that he is a culture person. And
huge supporter of our program, too.
Yes.
Huge supporter of our program.
Absolutely. Like you mentioned, Mr. Adams taught you when you were in ag, but he also taught my dad.
He did?
My dad's a little bit older than you. I know he's watching too.
A little bit.
And that comes with you being a young advisor. So
absolutely.
What advantages come with being a young advisor?
So I think, I remember that question was asked to me in my interview when I was interviewing for this job. And so I had more positives to say about being a young teacher, a young educator, a young advisor coming into this field, because you do get to relate to the kids a little bit more. There is a line. You don't cross that line. I'm not here to be his friend or my other student's friend. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here to push them to step out of their comfort zones, to build character, to learn, to achieve great things, and to teach them. And so there's relationships, though, that you can build because you are similar. You're probably closer to age, but at the same time, those positives outweigh the negatives by far. So I think that relationship builder with my students, it was significant, and I think that had to do with being a younger educator coming into this profession. So relationships, absolutely.
Yes, sir. And this isn't on my paper at all, but that fire is still so hot, like being a young
Oh,
advisor.
absolutely.
And it's not going to burn out anytime soon.
Absolutely. And then that was another thing too, was I talked to y'all about you do livestock, right? So one of my big, ag teachers have one or two or maybe even three CDEs that they focus on. One of mine's livestock. Well, y'all placed third in state last year in livestock. My first year I brought y'all, we were 8th, and we keep climbing, and that's the goal. But I said it was because my last year with Coach Adams, we got 3rd, and that class of hogs beat us. And so that fire's been under me ever since then. So that matters. That matters. So there's a lot of things that play into there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So topic number 2, that was topic number 1. You're teaching at Hartselle High School. Being an educator here and being such a role model here. And we sort of touched on it a little bit, but our whys. I wanted to just answer, not go in depth on why we're here, but just answer 4 simple questions on our why and why we're here, and I'll let you answer these first. So first question, what drew you to FFA?
So It was not on purpose. And I think that's the crazy story with a lot of students is, or at least what I see is, like my best speakers are ones that were quiet and didn't say much in class to begin with. And then I throw them in the fire, and then they don't stop talking from the time they get in my class to the time they graduate. So what got me interested, what caught my attention was it was my 8th grade year. We had somebody set to do creed speaking. Well, he ended up transferring out or going home. So I can't remember what it was, but I was next in line and I got thrown into it. And I was terrified, but I loved every second of it. And when I got out of that room, I was like, this is my thing. This is my thing. And so I stayed with it. And, that next year I got to the high school. Coach Adams threw me in prepared. And then we started livestock, and then that helped with reasons. It's a domino effect. But my ag teacher pushing me out of my comfort zone and throwing me in a creed speaking competition or pushing me, through that door. I tell my kids all the time, if you're not going to open the door, I'm going to push you through it. So I think that's what really got me involved and got me on fire for FFA.
You do say that to us all the time. You've pushed me through a couple doors.
Push, shove, whatever you want to say.
Might have tripped and fell through a couple doors. But what drew me to FFA, I would say I grew up on a 3-house poultry farm, about 75. Now we're getting up to 85, 90 head of cattle. I always knew I wanted to be in an ag class. I knew I wanted to be in the ag room. I didn't know what FFA held for me. So what drew me to FFA was just being in the ag class. I joined my freshman year, not as active, you weren't here, but sophomore year came along, and I did some stuff my freshman year in FFA for sure, but sophomore year came along and I really realized, well, if I want to be in agriculture and I want to do an agriculture career in the future, this is before I realized I wanted to be an ag teacher, why am I not committing to FFA? And committing to FFA is just like committing to a football, baseball, basketball team. You're trying to be one of the best on the team, one of the best in the organization.
Absolutely.
So that's what's inspired me to come all the way up to state office, is because when I join a team, when I join an organization, you want to be the best. And I think that comes for any member that's trying to succeed in their career path. Second question. When was the moment where your why clicked?
As in, like, ag ed?
Yes.
So why ag ed, or this is my...
Were you sitting in class? Were you driving home from school? Like, when did you say... Because I can think of something like when I thought, this is what I want to do.
I would say, I guess the visual in my head that keeps playing back is in our junior high ag room. It was the old building. It was the old high school. We're in the new high school now, but the old high school. So the old high school shop classroom, which was then which is now the junior high. I was sitting in that classroom. My seat was towards the back, and I remember looking up on the side, and my junior high ag teacher had like 2 Auburn posters, like Auburn agriculture posters. I've got some hanging up in my room, and it was above the windows. And I just remember that for some reason standing out to me, catching my attention because, all my family was Alabama fans. Other than my mother and her being born in Auburn, that was the only connection I had to it. But then seeing the university that cares so much about agriculture, and then being exposed to the class, getting to do hands-on activities, and literally looking forward to it every single day, and having those teachers that made a significant impact in my life, I think that's ultimately was like, okay, this is my calling. This is my calling. And I knew I was like, if the Lord doesn't want me to go down that pathway of ag ed, I still feel like education is my calling. Yeah. Like I want to make an impact in young people's lives. For sure. That's our job as educators. And so that's the one thing that sticks out to me, my why, is because of the other ones that made other teachers that made a significant impact in my life.
Yes. And it's definitely proven to be what God wanted you to do. This is definitely
absolutely
where Mr. Randolph's supposed to be. I just thought of it when he was saying that. He didn't put it in his introduction, and I should have added it, but second year teaching, Mr. Randolph came into one of the best schools in Alabama and got Teacher of the Year.
Oh, yeah.
High school. Yes, he didn't put that in there, but
I didn't. But that's not. That's why I tell you all the time. It's not about me. It's about you.
It's not, but it really shows that Mr. Randolph is here to succeed, and that's what we're doing. That's why the chapter's growing, and I couldn't talk better about him, and that's why he's my first guest on the podcast. But the moment where my why clicked, and like I said, Mr. Randolph really inspired me more, sort of already touched on it. I knew I wanted to be in agriculture. I thought that I was just going to have cattle at my house, hopefully have chicken houses at my house, and live that way, have a job. So my dad does the same thing. 3 chicken houses, have a cattle farm, and he has a job that, lucky enough, he's able to come home and work with the cattle, work with the chickens, and then be able to go work his job in the city. So that was always my goal. I thought I had that set plan. Well, like I said, when I committed to FFA, I saw that plan change. And my first thought when I said, I might want to teach ag ed, was when Mr. Randolph put his trust in me. Like I said, we weren't the most active chapter my freshman year before Mr. Randolph. And I actually didn't even get to be an officer on my FFA team that year. But my sophomore year, when I tried out and he put his trust in me to be vice president of the chapter, that was jaw-dropping. That was huge to me. And I was like, okay, I might want to do this, because if I can make this difference in another person's life like he did mine, and make me feel so welcome and special in such a special organization, this is what I want to do. And that wasn't really when I said, okay, yeah, I'm going to do it. It was just a thought. I think I went home and told my parents, it's like, wait, ag education might be on the radar there. And my parents were happy because they want me to go to college and get a degree. And they didn't know how serious I was about it yet, but they were just happy that my gears were turning. But it really clicked whenever I was actually a district officer last year. Yeah. I got into the classroom and I just reamped that first thought that I had. If I can make this difference in somebody's life, this is what I want to do. Being a district officer, I saw that that's totally possible. If you step into an ag classroom and the right kids are in there that want to grow, you can make that difference in their lives. And that's when it clicked to me. And that's all thanks to the Lord and Mr. Randolph and Miss Ashley Holmes, like we mentioned before, putting me in that situation to be in an ag classroom, to really realize that I do want to teach ag in the future, and Lord willing. So, question 3, and we're sort of stepping into a time capsule, because you said that you learned your why at a very young 7th grade.
Right.
Grade.
So I think that.
So
7th grade.
This can be a short answer. How was your why changed, or how has your why changed over time?
I don't think it. So obviously, my why was because of the significant educators, specifically my ag teacher, that made an impact in my life as to why I got in this. That's my why. But we were talking about, some of the things we were going to be discussing today during 6th period after we had gotten back in from the shop. And one of my senior boys, he was cutting up with me, and he said, "Well, what is your why?" And with all seriousness, I responded. I said, "What?" I said, "Y'all. You, all my students are my why now." I've got 120, 125, somewhere around there. I don't know the exact number right now, but our program's growing, and I have a lot of students. But that right there alone drives me to get up every day, come to work with a smile on my face. I hope. Some of the kids probably wouldn't agree with that. But I try to come to work with a smile on my face every day, because I know the impact that it can make in these students' lives. These kids that I have are truly remarkable. We've got some of them sitting back here listening to us talk right now, and it's a blessing to be able to do that. So how has it changed? I wouldn't say it's necessarily changed. It's just gotten bigger. My why has grown. It's my kids, and I don't even call them my students half the time. And that's the thing. I'm a young educator, but and a lot of my seniors, obviously, they're way too old to even be my kids, really. But I call them my kids because that's.
Yes,
I spend so much time with them. I have the unique ability to build relationships with them, whereas their core teachers, you have math for a year, and then you have science for a year, and you build relationships with these teachers. But y'all are stuck with me for 4, and so they're my kids, and that's why.
Yes,
that's
sir.
Why.
You're definitely able to gain a way stronger connection with the people that you're stuck with for
absolutely
4 years.
Absolutely. Any of your electives, really, but especially career tech and ag and all the above.
Ag for sure. I touched on mine. Wanted to, and I still want to farm in the future. Just to reiterate that, I want to farm. Like Wiley Bailey said, he was a national officer from Alabama. You want to walk the walk. you don't want to just talk the talk. So we're going to have a lot of talkers, but you're not going to have a lot of walkers. So I want to talk about agricultural education. I want to get in the classroom and teach, but I also want to be a farmer in the future as well. So that's how my why sort of changed. I learned that I wanted to teach in the future. I'm going to leave this question just to you. I'm not going to add on to it at all, but do you have any advice to anyone without a why, or they're searching for their why? Like what steps could they take, or is it just sort of it's going to come to you?
Well, I mean, as far as an educator goes, I feel like that's our job, my job, or other teachers' job is to, I get kids in the program that they might not have wanted to be in here, or they didn't know what ag was, but we can find them a place. Like this organization is so big. It's not just about, like we joke all the time, and it was something Miss Holmes said to me, and it stuck ever since. It's not all about cows, sows, and plows. Mm-hmm. And so we can find a place for these students. And I think that's the unique ability of Ag Ed and FFA is we can find their why. If they want to find it, we can find their why. And so that's how we do that, is just exposing them. I say it 100 times over. I said it in one of our CDE practices right before we started this podcast. We had a practice, and I told one of the things Mr. Adams said to me not too long ago was ag teachers are a jack of all trades and a master of none. I literally just told my students that, talking about something in practice not too long ago. But my job, in my opinion, is to expose you to every possible thing ag related, leadership related, and whatnot, so that you can find your why. Yes. So, and that's how we do that. We got to get these students involved.
Because there is an end to that quote that doesn't get said very often. I know you've heard it before. It's jack of all trades, master of none, but sometimes a jack of many is better than a master of one.
I did not know that.
I'm not going to quote that word for word.
Did you look that up before you started this podcast?
No, actually, Mr. Wright at Hatton High School told me the end of that quote.
He's a former state officer.
It stuck with me. He's a former state officer. He's a former national officer candidate. Shout out Mr. Wright at Hatton High School. That sort of gets us out of our topic number 2, our whys. I'm glad that we dove into that more. I definitely learned some things.
Enjoyed that.
Next, I want to talk about chapter culture. So like you said, Jake Miles at our school, athletic director, big guy on culture.
Huge guy on culture.
Big guy on culture. Like, culture is very important in anything that you want to succeed, especially in a group setting. You got to have a culture and a standard.
Absolutely.
In my opinion. So, what makes or specifically our chapter at Hartselle thrive in the culture category?
Well, that was a big thing when I got here. We wanted to build the culture. The morale in the ag program was very low. Okay, and like I said, it wasn't me that built that, and so it was getting the kids convinced, right, that this can be something amazing, that we are sitting on a gold mine. Right, and it started with developing that first officer team, which you were a part of. It starts with the officer team and then trickles its way down. And so, setting standards, setting expectations, and leading those kids in the right direction. One of the things that I started, we have the hashtag we use on all of our social media. We are Hartselle FFA, and I mean that. We are Hartselle FFA, and that's something that y'all have started to use. I use on all of our social media posts, and that's not a arrogant thing. That's a pride thing. We take pride in what our chapter is, what it has become, and what it will be. We want to be one of, if not the best in the state, okay?
Exactly.
But that's the goal of every chapter and every advisor in the state. That should be, right? We've got them posted on the back wall here. The ones viewing the podcast can't see it, but one thing we also say is the tradition, excellence, and leadership, okay? We need to be rooted in tradition, strive for excellence, and work on those leadership skills and build those at all times. That's how this chapter grows. That's how the culture continues to get better and improve. And with that becomes more wins, okay? Mm-hmm. That becomes students leaving here going to colleges of agriculture, students leaving here going to the workforce ready with skills. And that's the end goal, is the students leaving here better than what they were when they came in here the 9th grade year.
Just being successful.
Absolutely. We want success. We want the best.
And I wanted you to talk about our chapter because like you said, it's a pride thing. I like to think that Hartselle is one of the deepest rooted and strongest cultured FFA programs and schools in the state. And for any of the viewers that are members or advisors or just a part of a group in their community, just take that back to your group. If you think that you aren't growing enough, just know that to grow, you have to have roots. And without those roots, you're not going to grow as tall and as bright as you want to be. So I'm glad you really touched on why Hartselle.
It's all about the foundation. You talk about roots, foundation. That was a big thing that we did with
my
state officer.
Yep,
as part of your chapter visit presentation.
For sure.
You can tie it in the 3-circle model. I mean, that's roots and having a good foundation, and it starts with that tearing that building down, starting from the foundation and working your way up.
Absolutely.
And that's how we built the culture here in our program.
So. And that answers my next question. How do you build student buy-in? It would really just be having that culture, having that standard.
Oh, absolutely. And finding what they're interested in.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you build student? You got to find out what the students are interested in. I got a lot of kids that, what we were talking about before. I love plant science. I love the plant side of things in ag. Now livestock is one of my favorite competitions, but plant science, I love it. Plant production. We have a big greenhouse. That was another big thing that Coach Adams kind of instilled in me, because we're blessed with an industrial level commercial type greenhouse. Very blessed with that. And so the opportunities that we have for our students because of that, I think that's why I am such a big plant guy. But we've got to get, not all my kids are. They enjoy the greenhouse, but that's not their favorite. I got a bunch that enjoy the welding side of things. They enjoy the woodworking side of things. They enjoy dealing with those animals. I got people that want to go into to be a veterinarian or a vet tech. You got to find what they're interested in. And then that's how you get them bought in, because then you get to start talking about what competitions they get to go compete in. They get to go travel and tour these colleges that have majors that are interesting to them when they graduate. And so student buy-in starts with finding what the students are interested in.
And FFA definitely holds plenty of pathways.
Oh, it's a ton.
You're going to be interested in something.
Absolutely, we can find something.
This sort of, it may get deep. It may be a little funny. What are some ways you've taught your chapter members to handle wins, but also losses?
Okay, wins. I'm a very traditional type of guy when it comes to wins. I want to act classy. We're not going to act a fool at the contest when we win. Now, I want to win and I want to dominate. Our motto this year is what?
Dome.
Dominate on maximum effort. Okay. And so that's what I want at every contest. I want to dominate. I want to win. When we go, we don't like getting. Nobody likes to lose. If you like to lose, why are you going? Why are you going? Mm-hmm. So everybody wants to win. So obviously, you handle the wins with class. Okay. But I also look at it like there's always more to accomplish. There's a ladder, and you just got to keep climbing. Okay. What we do is not necessarily the best thing that can be done. Now losses, they're not fun to handle. No. We know that. We had to learn from that. We've learned from those losses. Honestly, sometimes those losses are good and they fuel a big win, a big comeback.
For example.
And County Livestock last year.
Livestock last year. Now, Mr. Randolph, I'm not putting this on Mr. Randolph at all. I did not handle that loss well. We went to County Livestock, worked our tails off, thought we were getting first. Thought it was almost guaranteed first. And I think that might have been a little bit of the problem. We thought it was, okay, we're going in here, we've worked our tails off, let's go do it. We went and did it, and we got last.
Yeah, we did.
We got last.
We did.
Blaine was not very classy that day.
No, and that's part of, now you weren't unclassy, but you don't like to lose. No. But neither does anybody else. That's part of instilling that winning culture and instilling that tradition. We want a winning tradition here in this program. And to get to that level, I expected that out of y'all. Y'all didn't want to eat. Y'all didn't want to have nothing afterwards. No. Y'all didn't want to talk. You didn't want to do nothing. But guess what? You went on, you placed third in state in livestock, highest scoring team in our county at the state contest last year. But it comes with hard work, and that's why I say those losses. And we've got a tough county, man. We've got some amazing ag teachers in our county. We've got one of the highest amount of ag teachers in the county as far as statewide goes. I know Marshall County's got a good many. Morgan County's got a lot. And we have some amazing ag teachers out there, especially in our county. And so our county's tough to get out of. And so you do have to win county in a lot of contests to get to that district or state level. Mm-hmm. Now that's not livestock anymore, but But like I said, you got to handle the losses. And the way I want y'all to handle a loss is you learn from it. You got to learn from it and improve. That's the only way. That's the only way you can get better.
And a loss should light a fire under you.
And it
if
did.
You really care about it. And it did. We got
It will.
third in state.
That's good.
Third in state.
That's good.
So right now the viewers are probably thinking that this is the Hartsville FFA podcast.
They are.
We haven't touched much on Alabama FFA. Topic four. Alabama FFA. I got two questions. What's exciting in Alabama FFA right now to you?
What's exciting in Alabama right now for me? So, let's see. There's a lot, in my opinion. State convention's always something to look forward to. I think we got a really awesome state officer team, and I'm not saying that just because I've got one of my kids on that. I'm really not. But we have got truly a remarkable state officer team. Our state president, Alex Johnson, is amazing. And so is all the other state officers. But the dynamic between y'all, and I guess it's just because I've got a kid on the team this year, so I've got to see them kind of up close and personal. Our state is very blessed with the team that they've got right now. So that is probably number one. And man, we've got, for the first time in a long time, a fully staffed Alabama FFA state staff. We've got remarkable people. Mr. Jay Borden, our state advisor, our new Alabama executive secretary. We've got amazing improvement specialists and district advisors. So it's truly remarkable. I think we are headed in the right direction, and we've got some good people up there to work with. Everybody, we don't agree on everything. Everybody's going to see things differently, but that is what continues to help our organization and association grow.
That's what makes a great organization, as long as you're talking about it.
Yeah.
Now, if everybody disagrees and nothing changes, and you don't have those conversations,
well, nothing's going to happen if everybody agrees on everything. Exactly. You've got to have different viewpoints. The North, Central, and South, what we see is all different things, but they're all great districts. Our districts in all three of them for our state, man, it's unbelievable. We've got remarkable ag teachers and students across the state of Alabama.
And a lot of people don't like it, but I love seeing the North District. They'll say, we're the best district. South District, we're the best district. Central District, we're the best district. That just creates that competitive nature.
Yes.
And then overall, in the end,
you get the best.
If we're all the best district,
yes, absolutely,
then we're having the best people in the state of Alabama.
You get the best, FFA. Absolutely, on your state officer team,
winning state competitions, district officer teams, and
remarkable people across the board.
That's how you get. And he hit on it. And my people know that I'm so blessed to be with them. I'm going tomorrow for a Christmas party with them. The state officer team has a fire under themselves right now because I've never seen a group of people, and it might just be because I'm a little biased and I'm on the team this year, but we love FFA so much, and we want things to not work out for us, but work out for all of Alabama FFA. We're excited for state convention, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. It's been a great year, and it's flying by too fast. I'm not taking this position for granted at all. I'm excited for Alabama FFA because of the fire that not only the team, but also the new staff has under them. And the fire that I'm seeing going to schools and chapter visits under the ag teachers. The ag teachers in Alabama truly love their job. I haven't been to one school where they're just like, yeah, look, please take these kids off my hands for a day. They're sitting there. They're wanting to hear us talk. They're wanting to hear what we have to say. And that's what makes me excited. People in FFA being excited about FFA is what makes me the most excited. Okay, we talked about what we're excited about. Second question, how does Alabama FFA, and I'm going to change it. It says need to expand / change. So let's go, how does Alabama FFA, how could it change in the next 5 to 10 years? Either on the path we're on or something you may like to see or something of that nature. That's sort of just a pick your brain question.
I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is seeing more ag programs grow, being established and growing with that, seeing more ag educators out there. It's good to see, your traditional ag teacher over the years would always be your male ag teachers. So it's good to see people from across the board, males, females, people of all different races being represented in Alabama FFA as ag teachers, okay? So that is one thing that I'm seeing headed in the right direction. That is an awesome thing to have. Also, we're starting to see more people get involved. Our numbers are continuing to climb according to what we were told at summer conference, and that's a great number. Mr. Borden was telling us about the amount of ag teachers we have and the amount of chapters we've had, how that's increased. And so absolutely, I feel like we're headed in the right direction.
Of course.
And so how could it change? I mean, education is ever evolving. So, I mean, there's things that's going to change over the years, especially the students. So, I mean, students change over the years, obviously, from year to year. So, I mean, there's a lot of things that can come there. That's a very broad question. But overall, just seeing more people from all different backgrounds getting involved in ag ed, and being represented in our association.
And realizing, like you said, FFA is not sows, cows, and plows.
No,
every backstory has a place in FFA.
Absolutely.
Every path has a place in FFA. And we need another national officer candidate.
We do.
We do.
Hopefully we'll have one this year.
We will.
Hopefully. That's awesome.
I have faith. So that takes us off Alabama FFA. Let's go back to the student-to-advisor dynamic that you see in the classroom. Being an ag teacher yourself, what makes a strong student-to-advisor relationship? My answer would be respect.
Oh yeah, you've got to have respect. Okay, I tell my kids all the time, if you respect me, and which it's obviously expected, you respect me. As long as you respect me, I'll respect you. And so that probably is the number one thing that I would think of, obviously, is respect. But I mean, you do get to build that relationship with your advisor and get to see him or her on different aspects of outside of school life. So I get to take y'all all over the state and even the country, really, when we go to national convention and stuff. So you get to see, and all my other students get to really see Mr. Randolph inside school and outside school. Same thing with other advisors and students across the whole state. You just build that relationship, but it starts with respect. And you got to have that foundation of respect. So that word is, I think, the best way to sum it up.
Yeah, respect, and it goes back into how much the kid's going to pour into you. You're going to pour into the kid.
Absolutely.
And how much you pour into the kid's going to pour into you.
Absolutely.
It's just that mutual, respectful relationship.
And they see that. So that's my thing, is if they see that I don't care, they're not going to care. But if I do, and I'm pouring everything I have into it, and I'm on fire, I see that in return.
Next question. So, obviously, and I hope it's become very clear that I think Mr. Randolph is, if not one of the best advisors in the state of Alabama in National FFA. Mr. Randolph's got the fire, he's got the passion, but I want to ask you, maybe you don't think that you're top tier yet. You're not the golden owl yet.
I don't look at it that way.
Yeah. But you're the best at hearts.
I'm the only at hearts.
But I just want to ask you the question, what makes a great advisor?
Well, it goes back, first off, let me say, across the state, and I understand that, and I appreciate that, and we have that relationship,
Sure.
And it goes back to respect, and I appreciate that you think of me in that way. So thank you, number one. But we do have amazing advisors in our state, and North, Central, and South, and it not me. It's across the board, great advisors. And that's why our association, our state association, is so good, is because of our advisors. That's the foundation, and our students as well. And so, as far as the question goes, I don't really know how to, other than going back to those relationships. I mean, that would probably be the way I'd wrap it back in with the students. Repeat the question again to make sure.
What makes a great advisor?
That's a tough question. I mean, I think relationships. I mean, it goes back down to, you've got to connect with the kids.
Well, I agree with you.
You got to connect with the kids.
Being a student, I agree with you.
So you've got to be able to figure out what they're interested in and get them in those places where they'll succeed. And they'll respect you because of that. Going back to the respect thing, okay. But the relationships is the bottom line. I think that if you could answer it in one word, that would be it. Relationships. No. That's why I wanted you to repeat it. Make sure
Make
sure I was hearing that. So I was going all around the bush, but I wasn't getting to it.
Yeah. So relationships is what makes a great advisor.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this isn't. You're looking for an answer. I just want you to share especially because this is the first episode and we've talked about how great of a bond we have, but also just Hartsville FFA has been these past 3 years, coming up on a full 3 years. So share a couple of the best moments you've had with your students. Just 2 or 3, just stand out. I know you love every day. You show up with a smile, but when you think, okay, this has got to be the funniest moment, or this has got to be, I was about to turn the car around because
there's been several, laughing or mad or very upset. I don't know. There's been a few.
I want to hear the best moment.
Okay, all right. Because
I've
got somewhere I get pretty heated. I'm not always smiling and stuff when y'all do things that I have to get on to y'all for.
True.
But some of the best moments, man, just to sit here and think of them. So you sitting here. So obviously you get in state office. That was a big deal. Because that was the only state officer our program's ever had. You were the second district officer our program's ever had in 87 years. So that was a big deal. Our whole chapter was there to see that. Mm-hmm. So that was a big deal. One I will never forget. Probably a lot of our community projects where we get to bond with community leaders, community people, and then getting our students involved. That I love to just sit back and watch those, whether it be our farm days. We got to build a viewing deck at the baseball field last year, building birdhouses for the Sparkman Park. I'm sorry. Then also getting to build farmers markets tables like that. I love that. Some of the best memories as far as that goes, state convention and national convention are always a blast. Getting to take 2 teams to nationals this year was an absolute blast. So that was good memories. Experiences made for me and even the kids. I was learning on that too because the first kids I'd ever taken to compete at nationals, not the first kids I'd taken to nationals. Y'all pick on me all the time about my driving, but I think that's just an ag teacher thing.
The road trips.
That's just an ag teacher thing.
Okay.
I don't know what it is. We're not great drivers.
Maybe it's that the students
specifically in buses.
The students think that they're better drivers. That might be what
they might think that, but until y'all get behind the wheel of a bus,
us behind.
Yeah. But we're not gonna go into specifics because I don't want y'all to get me fired or anything. But I drive safe. Y'all just think I hit a few curves every now and then, but every bus driver.
You're just trying to get us to the competition.
I'm getting you. You've never been. I tell you all the time. When we get there, did you get here safe? You did. You got here safe. You got here faster, but you got here safe.
We did. Well, Mr. Randolph, I think that we've been talking a lot.
We've
laughed, but we haven't laughed as much as I like to. I laugh literally after every sentence. I think we need to do a little activity here. And this was something that I'm going to do on every podcast, not just with one of my favorite advisors in the state. I'm going to do this on every single one of them. This is called the FFA Fast 5.
Okay.
So this is just you here. I'm going to ask you 5 questions.
All right.
Then you have to answer on the spot.
What if I don't know the answer?
Well, on the spot. Just.
All right.
So, you ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
Get your FFA hat on.
Okay.
Favorite CDE to coach?
It would have to be livestock probably, and then speaking events would follow.
Livestock speaking events. Go-to gas station snack on an FFA trip?
Little Debbie cakes, and then you got to make sure Christmas tree cakes, but Little Debbie cakes. And then if you can hit up the gas stations that keep the Reese's in the cooler and keep them cold, that is the way to go.
I've never heard that one before, but he does love his Christmas tree cake.
Love them.
One ag fact that just blows your mind.
One ag fact that less than 2% of our population are farmers.
That's
sad. It's not just blowing my, it's sad.
It is. Well, dang. I wanted to laugh.
Well, I'm just kidding. It blows my mind.
You're right.
All right.
So, most chaotic moment on an FFA trip?
Oh, gosh. This year when I had to yell at some of y'all because y'all were too loud in your room at night, and then some of the other students from a chapter here in North District caught me yelling at y'all. So it was an experience. Everybody got to see my very hot, very agitated side with y'all.
Serious.
But it wasn't you, I will say that.
No.
It was not you. You were too busy with state officer interviews. But that was, because then all the ag teachers knew about it, and then we had fun with it the next day. But they got to see my side where I'm yelling and I was red in the face. So.
Okay. Most chaotic. Okay. Last one. A phrase you say way too much in the ag classroom.
That builds character. Yeah, I got that one from Miss Holmes, or Dr. Holmes.
She does.
Got that from Doc. She said that a lot in her classroom, and it's true. It builds.
He says it to everything.
I say it to everything. Sometimes being funny, And so best phrase, that, and then 6'7".
On the first episode.
On the first episode.
6'7". Okay. All right. That's actually going to come up later in the
Oh,
episode.
God.
Okay. So
Yes, I did that.
That was pretty fun. That was a pretty fun activity.
right.
Now we got this or that.
Okay.
So I'm just going to ask you one thing or the other.
Okay.
Got it?
Yep, I'm ready.
All right. Livestock or row crop?
Ooh, love the livestock competition, but I would probably go with row crop just because I like plants. I just love plants, love plant science.
All right. Love plants. Your answer.
Going with it.
All right. Poultry judging or forestry?
Poultry because I hate forestry.
Hate forestry.
Miss Holmes. Yeah. I don't. Okay, hate's a strong word. I dislike forestry.
I dislike forestry. Okay. I don't have an opinion on forestry, but okay. Poultry judging. State convention or COLW?
Ooh, we host COLW for North.
We put on a pretty
So I enjoy it, but
state convention.
state convention is pretty awesome.
All right. National convention or state convention?
That national convention.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, that's just because not because national convention is necessarily just so much better, but think about all the people y'all get to meet. Like y'all get to go around and talk to all the people from different states. And the same thing for ag teachers, getting to meet so many people. Like I'm a talker, and I love that. So you get to see thousands and thousands and thousands of people.
And you still get the Alabama social.
That's why. The Alabama social, and they're East Lawrence and Phil Campbell and some of them did the Bama Bash this year, I think. We didn't get to make it to that because we had the rodeo or whatever night that was. We had a rodeo one night when one of them was. But there's so many networking opportunities. Yeah, networking opportunities at Nationals.
So fun. Okay, last one. Field trip days or regular in the classroom school days?
It depends on what we're doing. According to my kids, they keep a consecutive calendar of what days I'm here and what days I'm not. But I am out a good bit with y'all. I'm never out. I think in the whole time I've been teaching, I may have taken 1 or 2 personal. I know it's been 2 for a fact. Just personal days. All the days I'm out is days when we're out doing FFA competition, activities, workshops, whatever it might be. It's all FFA stuff.
So if I had to go more specific and go, you're in your FFA history regular school days, or you're going on a field trip, not to a competition, a field trip, what would you rather be doing?
I like my FFA history.
Yeah.
I love doing my FFA history unit with my kids.
If
I had to pick that, I'd go there.
I'd agree with you there.
I'd go there.
Well, everybody, I think we've had a great podcast today.
Absolutely.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see where this goes. Definitely going to continue doing it because I love to talk.
Absolutely.
And I love FFA. And Mr. Randolph's definitely going to be on a couple more times. He doesn't know that yet, but whenever I can't find a guest, this is my go-to
There's plenty
guy.
out there. Plenty out there.
But I just wanted to leave us today with a little bit of scripture. Galatians
6:7.
Galatians 6:7. And my mom's going to love that I said this one because she loves to say this to me whenever I may make a mistake at the house. But be not deceived. God is not mocked. For whosoever a man soweth, that shall be also his reap. So just know going throughout your day, whatever you're doing, that's what you're going to get out of it. Whatever amount of energy you put into something, that's going to come back to you. And if you didn't learn anything about Alabama FFA or Hartsville FFA today, I just want you to know that attack every day with the amount of effort and treat every day like it's your last, because you never know.
No,
you
don't.
You got any final comments, Mr. Randolph?
I've enjoyed being here.
I've enjoyed it.
And I hope this grows for you. And I hope you get to have a lot of people on here. I've enjoyed being the first guest. I hope we hadn't upset too many people.
Oh, no.
I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it.
so
We've got, again, I can't say it enough. We've got amazing teachers, amazing people in this state, amazing people in our school. And I'm so blessed to be where I'm at, getting to do what I love. And I appreciate you having me on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely. Well, this has been the FFA Sit Down. Thank you.